Hi guys. So this book is Alex Lawson's What to Look For, and it's really based off the continuum, and a lot of people are using it right now to understand the key concepts that students have or don't have, and the strategies that they're using or not using when solving um, problems involving addition, subtraction, and multiplication and division. And so it goes, you can use it from kindergarten to grade 3, although in kindergarten, I usually suggest that you use Clement's trajectories, which is something I can share with you too. But it is based on age, basically a continuum of mathematical knowledge of what students should know by what age. And so when you place them on the Lawson continuum in kindergarten, they're basically at the very beginning, and there really is no real movement usually. So if we want to get more precise, it's better if you're in kindergarten to use Clement's trajectories. So in saying that, the front matter of this book is really important to read so that you understand all of the parts of the continuum and sort of how to analyze the data that you've collected. But basically, this is what the continuum looks like. And so what people are doing is they are giving students a problem, and it's one-on-one, and then they are analyzing the strategies that the student is using and sort of highlighting what they have. And so what some people have done to be really precise with this is they have one of these sheets photocopied for each student. They write the date at the top, and then they highlight the strategy that they're using, but they also highlight it in either red, yellow, or green, and then it's a visual that the strategy that they're using right now is in red, and or is like a concern. And so visually they can pull a group of students that are in the red, and they can be looking at what strategies they're missing and be doing some small group instruction with them. Or potentially, if you know all of your class does not have a specific strategy, then maybe you teach that in your number talks. And then vice versa. If you have one student struggling, then maybe it's sort of a one-on-one. But to help you gauge where the students should be, somebody has actually, on our team from last year, I think, they took Clement's trajectories and they took the Lawson continuum. And so they went through, and so it starts at, sorry, it's the opposite, grade 1. And these are the start of year targets. Okay, so if they are only using subitizing, that would be considered red. And then if they're only up to counting 3 times, that would be yellow. And then these would be green. And so then it shows you mid-year targets and end-of-year targets for grade 1. So this goes all the way up to grade 3, end-of-year targets. So if you're in grade 3 or below, you could come and see me, and I could share this with you or potentially put it in the team drive so that everybody can have a copy of that. So once you have figured out where your students are on the continuum, the next step is sort of, what can I do to provide extra support? So if you go to page 152, it starts at, there are activities, and they're in chart form. And so basically, at the top of each one, sorry, that was just sort of the beginning, like games throughout the day. So games that involve counting and subitizing. So games that involve decomposing numbers. And then all the way up to unitizing and jumping patterns, calculation sequences that involve addition and subtraction to 20, and all the way up to addition and subtraction over 20. So once you look at one of these, sorry, let me just find one. Once you see, okay, so this student needs to be working on the key idea of unitizing. Maybe you've got a couple of them. You can choose one of these games, and you go to the front of this book and you scratch it, and you can go online and you can print off all of the games. And so what some people are doing is they are determining what strategy they want each student to be working on, and they are putting them into pairs, and they are using Ziploc bags and printing off the games, and then they're using clothespins with the students' names on them. And so if there's 10 minutes in the day that they have, they can say, go get your math games, and they're targeted, and those students can just go and get their bag and play their game for 10 minutes. And then as those students need different games, you can just change the name pegs out. Also, all of those games I have saved in Drive, so I can always put those on the team drive so people can just print a copy and they don't need this book with the website attached.